Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about the importance of doing the entire responsive worksheet. Let's consider what you'll often see. Let's say a student's doing the math quiz, math challenge, or whatever. They get a question wrong. Now, there's two ways you can look at this, right? Way one is say, okay, I need to help the student get this particular question right. And so how am I going to do that? What I'm going to do is introduce them to whatever underlying prerequisites are needed, expose them to that as really for as short a time as will work. In other words, I'm trying to just get that into their minds quick so they can get back to this problem and solve this question as quickly as possible. And if you think of this process if you think of your goal as being to help the student figure out this specific question, whatever one advanced question that you're doing, that's the correct way to do it. The thing is, that's actually not what the goal is. The goal is not the advanced questions themselves aren't the goal. The goal here is to figure out what skills need to be built and then build those skills thoroughly. So the correct way to look at this is to see the advanced questions as actually a diagnostic to let you know where the student is lacking, where the student has some kind of a deficit. And so it is super important to actually do, when you're doing a responsive worksheet, to make sure you do the whole responsive worksheet. The responsive worksheet matters much more than the hard problem, the starting problems. Our SAT math curriculum is not a 3-worksheet curriculum. Those 3 worksheets are diagnostics to tell you which of the several thousand worksheets are going to be that student's curriculum. That student's curriculum is only made up of responsive worksheets, is 99% responsive worksheets. The other things are there just to get you to it. Now, let's take a look at this worksheet here, solve for B. If a student, gets this problem wrong, gets a problem wrong on the math quiz, math challenge, or a math test, and then we come to here, realistically, after they go through this explanation, they'll be able to do that one problem because they'll have in their short-term memory. But guess what? It's not permanent. They haven't gotten into their long-term memory, muscle memory. They haven't really explored the idea yet. Nor have you created a cognitive incentive. And a cognitive incentive means the student needs to know that there's a cost to forgetting, not just consciously, but unconsciously. So if every time that a student forgets how to do this, they have to do the whole worksheet, their brain is going to say, okay, this is a kind of a wasteful thing, so let me learn this material. On the other hand, if every time they forget this, you just give them the answer as quickly as possible by just having them do the first little explanation part, you're not building up that cognitive incentive. There's no reason for the brain to not forget, aside from just a natural love of math or whatever other fantasy that we might want to delude ourselves with. So, key thing, make sure you see the worksheet all the way through the end. That creates the cognitive incentive. It helps create long-term understanding. It helps get that into the permanent memory, into their muscle memory, however you want to look at it. And remember this above all else, the hard questions in the 3 worksheets of the math curriculum, those are just diagnostics. The actual training is the responsive worksheets. The whole program is the responsive worksheets. Make sure that the student does them completely all the way through. And if a student is being reticent or difficult, you know what to do. Just let a lead instructor know, and they'll step in and try to handle that. And remember, if there are many other levels we can take it. If a student doesn't want to work with the lead, doesn't listen to the lead instructor, we can set up parent consultations, and we can set up Skype consult. We're going to make it happen regardless. So don't worry about that. Do your best to make it happen. If you can't do it, talk to a lead instructor. But no matter what, don't just say, yeah, sure, just do the one problem and go back to the main thing, because that would be robbing the student of the very education that they're coming here to get.